Hey friends, welcome back to the channel, and if you are new here, my name is Aivars. I'm a freelance and indie iOS developer, and in this video I will share my top 3 highlights from this year's Apple Development Conference. Please use timestamps below to jump between topics if you are in a rush or just looking for some specific part of this video. SwiftUI for sure is on the top of my list. Apple announced that they started to use SwiftUI in their Maps, Photos and Shortcuts apps and completely rewrote Weather's app using SwiftUI. So that's great that they are using their own tools. I started to use SwiftUI a few months ago and still learning, of course, to master it, but already can see how fast can be user interface development and prototyping using SwiftUI. For example, lists in SwiftUI added swipe actions and pull to refresh support. You can add them just by a few lines of code. Do you need search field? Add one more line. Do you need search support? A few more lines. If you build similar interfaces using UIKit, you know how much code is needed to recreate something similar in collection views, especially in older iOS versions. There is much more fun stuff. I'm looking forward to following Apple sessions during all week to learn more about news in SwiftUI. I would like to say that there will be a ton of new APIs announced during this week, and that will be hard to follow and impossible to learn all of them. Many of the developers will spend months learning all the tools, and someday, maybe, we'll start to use them. If you're already starting to feel a bit overloaded with information, calm down and remember that this is material to learn and start to use in practice for the next year. iPadOS updates are questionable. Many of us assumed that the widgets wasn't delivered to the iPad last year because Apple planned redesign for iPad home screen. But
widgets.
In this year we got just a bit bigger widgets and app library. That is kind of disaster. Besides widgets, there are no many changes in the home screen since first iOS versions. Anyways, hopefully Apple will find time to rethink home screen. There are still nice improvements in iPadOS. I like to use my iPad in daily workflows, but multitasking was very clunky. I like how it is changed now. Focus mode looking great as well, and I will definitely use it across devices. The most exciting thing for iPadOS and macOS for me is universal control.
Now, I'll just set my iPad down next to my Mac. And check this out. Without any other setup, I'm going to simply move my Mac cursor towards my iPad, and the iPad automatically recognizes it. And if I move a bit further, boom, my cursor is now on the iPad.
That's crazy. Sidecar already was a great feature and allowed us to use iPad as secondary screen, but with universal control that will be possible to seamlessly switch between devices. Sure, that's macOS feature as well, but let me fit this in iPadOS updates. If that will work on Intel Macs as well, I can even put Hackintosh, M1 MacBook Pro and iPad in one system and work with all of them. Last but not least update in iPadOS, Pro apps are coming to the iPad. More and more companies announced that they are working on their app release for M1 iPads, and Apple started to work on their own tools as well. We didn't get Final Cut Pro yet, also there is no Xcode for iPad, but Swift Playgrounds 4 looks very promising. But more about that a bit later. So, development tools. Development tools got a lot of attention in this WWDC, and besides regular Xcode update, we got Xcode Cloud as well. Now we can run and build Xcode projects in the cloud, of course. There are already third-party tools that allow doing that, like Bitrise, GitLab, you name them, there are plenty of them, but Xcode Cloud allows you to do all of that without leaving Xcode. You can even run tests on beta versions of the app without downloading them on device. You know how it is when you have multiple simulators and so on. Now you can keep all of that in cloud. I was very happy to see Swift Playgrounds 4 announced in WWDC. Swift Playgrounds 4 looks like a light version of the Xcode. It is possible to build an app and submit it to the App Store using iPad only. SwiftUI now is deeply integrated into Swift Playgrounds and using the same technology for previews as Xcode. There are previews for user interface, code completion suggestions, and the possibility to add assets from library. I'm really impressed how you can switch from development mode to full screen view of the app which is in development on the same device. Note that will be possible to switch between iPad and Mac, and my wish to have desktop at home and pick iPad with me when I'm moving around looks quite realistic. So far I always have a Mac with me even for 2-day trip just in case I will need Xcode. Sure, we will be not able to open on iPad some beefy old project with CocoaPod libraries and storyboards, but the package-based SwiftUI project can be opened on iPad and on the Mac, so that will be a good reason to update all the old projects. I guess I will talk a lot more about iPad in the upcoming month. I see that it will be possible to use it in even more cases than I did before. Hope you like this video. If so, give a thumbs up and subscribe if you like to see more videos from me. Thank you for watching. See you on next one. Bye.